1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2. Interment will be at Manhope Cemetery. The family will be gathering for Shiva at 10 Grave Phone on Pittsburgh from today, 7 to 9 p.m., Tuesday, 2 to 4, 7 to 9, Wednesday, 2 to 4, 7 to 9, and Thursday, the last day of Shiva, 7 to 9 p.m. If you further wish to honor the memory of Dvorah Shulman, you may do so by making contributions to Hadassah, the Jewish Federation of Rochester, and Temple Beth El. Mizmor LeDavid, Adonai roi lo echsar, benode sheyarbitzeini, al memenuchot yenahaleini. Nafshi yeshovev yancheni, mer letzedek leman shemo, gam ki elech begeitz al mavet, lo irara ki ata imadi. שבטך משענתך המה ינחמוני, תערוך לפני שולחן נגד צורריי, דשנת בשמן כוסי, ראשי כוסי רוויה, אך טוב וחסד ירדפוני כל ימי חיי, ושבתי בבית אדוני לאורך ימים. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He has me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He guides me on path of righteousness. He revives my soul for the sake of his glory. Though I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no harm, for you are with me. Your staff and your rod do comfort me. You set a table inside of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall abide in the house of the Lord forever. Eshet chayil mi'imtza, a good wife who can find. Her worth is far above rubies. The heart of her husband trusts in her, and nothing shall he lack. She renders him good and not evil all the days of her life. She opens her hand to the needy and extends her hand to the poor. She is robed in strength and dignity and cheerfully faces whatever may come. She opens her mouth with wisdom. Her tongue is guided by kindness. She tends to the affairs of her household and eats not the bread of idleness. Her children come forward and bless her. Her husband too, and he praises her. Many women have done superbly, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a God-revering woman is much to be praised. Place before her the fruit of her hands, wherever people gather. Her deeds speak her praise. It's now my honor to call upon members of the family to speak. We begin with Brett, and then Hillary will continue.
Friends and family, we gather today with heavy hearts, yet with profound gratitude to celebrate the remarkable life of our mother, our beloved Dvorah Shulman. At 92 years of age, she lived a life painted with vibrant colors of love, generosity, and unwavering devotion to friends and family. Mom was the heart of our family, a beacon of warmth and light. Her kitchen, a sanctuary of delicious aromas, was the stage for weekly Shabbat dinners and holiday feasts. The clinking of silverware, the laughter of grandchildren and great-grandchildren, the glow of candles, these are the memories etched in our lives and our souls. Each dish, especially her pie crust, was never made as well or recreated by any of us to her level of skill and deliciousness. I think this is due to all the love that she put into her culinary creations, a tangible expression of her nurturing spirit. For nearly 65 years of married life, she was the soulmate of my father, Henry Shulman. Theirs was an epic love story, a partnership built on deep affection, mutual respect, and a testament to their enduring love. Together, they built a legacy, a foundation of Jewish values, identity, and tzedakah. They taught us the importance of giving back, of reaching out to those in need, leaving a lasting imprint on our hearts and the world. They valued formal education and lifelong learning and sacrificed greatly to make certain that my sister and I had full and complete educations, as they understood that this is the one of the greatest legacies that they could provide to us for success in life. Mom had a zest for life that was truly infectious. She adored the sun, much to the disappointment of her son, the dermatologist. Its golden warmth mirroring her radiant spirit. Her swimming pool was her oasis where she could find her swimming laps and read in the sun on a daily basis. She loved her travels to St. Thomas with my dad and later our family, where she acquired that unforgettable tan, and the time that she spent with my dad were moments of pure joy. She also embraced Jewish life at the St. Thomas Synagogue and created a cadre of friends that she looked forward to being with year after year. She embraced life with open arms, finding beauty in every sunrise and every gentle wave. Her home was a haven, a place where friends and family were always welcome. Her dinners were filled with love and food. She believed that no one should ever leave her home hungry or unfulfilled. Her network of friends was a testament to her genuine kindness and unwavering loyalty. She had a gift for making everyone feel seen and valued, a rare and precious quality, and her generosity was beyond reproach. Her commitment to Hadassah was a reflection of her deep-seated belief in healing and hope. She found solace and inspiration in the pages of the many books that she read and the melodies of music that she loved. And she cheered passionately for her Syracuse teams, her spirit as fierce as any player on the field. The synagogue was a very special place of serenity and learning for her, where she could spend time with friends and family weekly. She was a regular at Shabbat services, her seat right there, and loved watching her children and grandchildren participate in Jewish observances. She loved the Ruach of Friday Night Live and virtually anything related to Jewish music and observance. The last few years presented challenges following the passing of our father, but Mom faced them with remarkable grace and resilience. But without him, she was never the same again. Although she chose to embrace every day with quiet strength and dignity in the absence of my dad, her soul was broken. And I think that she slowly died over the last years of a broken heart. She taught us the importance of taking life as it comes, with gentle acceptance, the importance of love and grateful heart. Despite her medical challenges, she continued to be an avid reader, investor, and providing wisdom and advice to those that reached out to her. Through the outstanding efforts of my sister and an incredible family of caregivers, she was able to assemble my sister doing this. Mom was able to fulfill her wish of remaining at home, her place of comfort and familiarity until the very end. Mom, we will miss you dearly. Your life in Neshama was a good one. And we can only hope that you are now reunited with Dad and being welcomed into the world to come by the angels and Hashem. We'll miss your unwavering support, your sagacious advice, your strong will, your comforting presence, and your love of family near and far. Mom created a legacy for the Shulman family and her many grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and spouses. We will miss her stories, her laughter, her cooking, and the way that she made us all feel so deeply loved. Her wisdom, her values, and her love will forever guide us. She instilled in us the importance of family, the power of kindness, and the strength of faith. And when we needed advice, a shoulder to lean on, or just sometimes a warm, loving presence, she was always there. And we can only hope that she will continue to watch and guide us through life from above. May her memory be a blessing, a beacon of light that continues to shine brightly in our lives. And may we honor her legacy by living the same love, generosity, and grace that she embodied every day in her beautiful life. Thank you.
Thank you, Brett. We call upon Hillary to speak on behalf also of the family.
I wrote my eulogy of my mother and realized that today we are celebrating all the gifts our mother gave to our family. My mom was a very generous, kind-hearted person, always inviting people into her home. She would cook and bake and set a table that invited everyone. Our dad was always beaming as my mother prepared their home to celebrate Shabbat, where our family dined together since the time I was young. My grandparents started the tradition of gathering their family on a Friday night. Everyone's life was packed with activities, but Friday night was extra special. As our mother aged, Brett and I took over making the tradition continue. My mom was always beaming with pride as her grandchildren and great-grandchildren would celebrate Shabbat and the holidays, singing songs and entertained all of us. This was Mom's pride and joy. In August 2018, our family experienced the loss of our dad, and our mom's life was shattered. But with the continued support of family and friends, our mom regained her footing. Throughout our lives, my mom has woven together special moments of joy and comfort, kindness, compassion, and made delicious food, and would make a day a little brighter. Through Mom's journey, she provided many gifts to everyone she met. Family was the most important lesson we learned, and to reflect and appreciate all that she and Dad gave to us. Take nothing for granted and to celebrate each day. She taught me through her journey to problem solve and think outside the box and help her to navigate without our father. There were many challenging moments, but through networking, I created a great team of caregivers. The core value of each of the caregivers was the love of family, our mother's number one priority. These ladies helped with Mom's daily routine and were welcomed into our family with open arms. They shared in milestone events. They loved and nurtured Mom, and I appreciate each and every one of them for the gifts they shared with all of us. Since Mom was all about family, she was especially proud of the granddaughters and got true bonus with the great-granddaughters every time she could be embraced when she glowed with pride. They learned through her journey to be accepting of differences, and they loved their Bubby. She was the fabric that held our family together. But now, although parts have unraveled, we will slowly weave our individual threads to create a new fabric and celebrate togetherness. I always enjoy taking Mom to experience new adventures. I especially enjoy taking Mom to Naples, New York, to enjoy a delicious rum raisin ice cream. She would count those raisins and say, "Only 3? I got gypped." We traveled to Aruba, and I planned outings to explore the island, always something new. Having a positive outlook helped guide me on this journey, and I was blessed to have good friends to listen to my experiences and challenges. Now, almost 7 years, our dad has been an empty nester, but now he will have Mom as his companion and the love of his life. I celebrate their new beginnings together and will always love and miss both of my parents. They are now complete, and I will continue remembering all our special moments. I love you, Mom.
Thank you, Hillary. We now call upon Richard to also speak on behalf of the family.
I'm going to talk a little bit about Bubby and my relationship with Bubby. I met Hank and Debbie when I was a sophomore at the University of Rochester. Hillary and I had joined in a JCC program to help disabled children learn to swim. I was coming from Sigma Alpha Mu fraternity at Dvorah. They had asked a bunch of fratres to assist, and Hillary was still in high school. I was soon invited and came every Friday night for Shabbat. A good home-cooked meal, and my connection to Judaism in college, although I also was an advisor to a youth group for 1 year when I was in college. I remember the ride to their house. At the time, I went through a road that had lots of open fields and farmlands. I used to joke, especially with Bubby, that I eventually thought that I was invited to come over so often so that I could never, ever try to do anything inappropriate with Hillary. But Shabbat dinner continued even after Hillary went off to college at Syracuse. That eventually slowed down after Bubby got more comfortable with the empty nest syndrome. Thank God it resumed when Hillary and I rekindled our relationship. We were always in touch as good friends from about 2010 and on. Bubby was strong-minded, opinionated, extremely intelligent, and before her deteriorating, we often talked about things Jewish, her early life experiences, politics, world events, and first and foremost, always about family. In fact, Bubby was really like a mother in some ways, I think, that she loved me as a son, and especially the case since I had lost my mother in 1985 when she was only 1995 rather. The most important thing I noticed about Bubby was she would always really light up. Even toward the end, she would light up when she saw her grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Even toward the end, when she hardly articulated things, the one thing she always could remember to say was, "I love you." Some of the things that I remember in terms of our relationship. Friday night Shabbat ritual. I would usually get all the yarmulkes and place them on the table, bring the candlesticks over, and if not moved, but even if moved, certainly after the meal was over and everything was cleaned up, she had received, maybe she and Hank, a Jewish Federation Book of Life award. It was all glass and had certain Hebrews on the glass etched in. I know one thing was Shabbat. So, also Valentine's Day. Hank for many years, used to purchase a stuffed animal usually, but some object which would talk and say a certain song to welcome Valentine's Day and how much he loved her. We had some rituals, if you will, somewhat seasonal. I used to go there and we'd have herring with cream sauce and crackers. She'd love that. Hot chocolate or coffee after I had shoveled snow at the house. Summer picnics on the deck with family and a continuing cast of characters as friends. The fall cleanup of leaves, if anyone knows her house and the huge, huge tree in the backyard, you know what that must have involved. I'd like to finish by saying something that I've always liked to hear, usually during the Yom Kippur memorial service. And hopefully it will come up fairly quickly. Bear with me. This prayer was written by, poem really, by Sylvan Kamens and Rabbi Jack Reamer. At the rising sun and at its going down, we remember them. At the blowing of the wind and the chill of winter, at the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, we will remember her. At the blueness of the skies and in the warmth of summer, we will remember her. At the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember her. At the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember her. As long as we live, she too will live. She is now a part of us as we remember her. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember her. When we are lost and sick at heart, we will remember her. When we have decisions that are difficult to make, remember her. When we have joy we crave to share, we will remember her. When we have achievements that are based on hers, we remember her. For as long as we live, she too will live, for she is now a part of all of us. We will remember her.
Thank you, Richard. We now call upon Allison. Achrona, achrona, chaviva says the tradition. The last one is the most beloved.
Hi. For those of you who don't know, I was adopted as a baby, and my bubby is the reason I'm here with you today. She was the one who made the connection between me and my parents. Bubby, thank you so much for making me a part of this wonderful family. I'm surrounded by love every day, and on this day, I feel your presence here with us. And that connection is the greatest gift I could receive. I remember warm, sunny days playing in the pool, learning how to make kugel and applesauce, and you painting my nails. I even painted my nails sparkly hot pink in honor of you. I believe in life after death, and it warms me to envision you surrounded by friends and family who have been waiting for you, especially Poppy. I don't believe in permanent goodbyes, and so I say not goodbye, but see you later. You're the best bubby in the world. I miss you, and I love you.
Thank you, Allison. An ancient and beautiful legend tells how God sent a ministering angel to earth to bring back to heaven the three things that were the most nearly divine, objects worthy of a place in heaven. And when the Malach arrived on earth, the angel entered a garden and saw a rose in bloom. And he plucked it, thinking that it was divinely beautiful. Next, he passed a house. Looking through the window, he saw an infant sleeping in the crib. Struck by the infant's placid, peaceful smile, the angel deemed it worthy of a place in heaven. He then flew back and forth over the earth, pondering what the third thing should be, until suddenly he spotted a mother devotedly going about her work. And the angel took the mother's love for her children back to heaven. The legend describes shortly afterwards the rose withered, losing its beauty. The child awoke from sleep, and no longer peaceful and placid, the child began to cry. The only thing that remained in heaven, just as it was on earth, was the love of the mother. From our experience, we know that the most divine gift we can enjoy is our mother's love. Our mother's devotion to our welfare, our mother's faithfulness to the family. Dvorah was that mother. Embe Israel, a Jewish mother in the best sense of the word. A woman who made motherhood her full-time vocation. Born in Rochester as the only child, attended Syracuse University for a couple of years, and then went to the Eastman School to become a dental hygienist. Family was everything to her, and she embodied the values of an Eshet Chayil, a woman of valor. Her father was one of the first members of Temple Bethel when the temple was located in Park Avenue. Since a child, she developed a very strong Jewish identity that later on she made reality by joining Sisterhood of Temple Bethel and participating in Hadassah, Jewish Federation, Footlink, where volunteerism and acts of kindness and tzedakah were essential. She was bright, intelligent, avid reader, and taking care of the children was important to her. She had met the love of her life, Hank, when she was 14. He saw him at the beach when people gather. The youth used to gather at the beach and the lake. And she liked him very much, particularly because he had a car. No need to take the bus any longer. They were married at this temple, 1952 or 53. Became active members here. When I came to Temple Bethel, Hassan Lubitz made a special point to tell me there are few families and couples and people here, and those over there, Dvorah and Hank Shulman, are very special to the shul and to us. The great memories of the holiday of Passover, I say great memories. Brett and Hillary say there were long, lengthy Hebrew prayers by our grandfather, together with the well-known Maxwell Haggadah. Dvorah was connected to her nuclear family, and she found comfort in that. Togetherness and creating memories was part of her existence. The children told me very clearly that pretty much their mother was in command and control. Occasionally, she will say, "Just wait until your father gets home." As I said, occasionally. Hank and Dvorah relied on each other. They form an extraordinary team. When you look at Hank, you could see Dvorah. When you look at her, you could see her husband. They collaborated closely. They supported each other's work. Among the different talents, she decided to become a licensed real estate agent later in life. And Hank supported her all the way through. They were called the action team. They did things. They made things happen. In addition, on her extra time, as a wise woman, she knew that investing was very important. And she was very good at it. Looking at the stock market, having the TV on, with Bloomberg and all the information she needed to make investment decisions. And her husband will say, "Go ahead, just be careful." She was very, very sharp. Traveling was important to them. They visited the land of Israel twice. In St. Thomas, they created a community that they enjoy so much. They spent up to 8 weeks a year there. They were good together, and they were good at solving problems. Their dedication to looking out for the children, it was mentioned before, education at the top of the ladder. They had a great partnership and transmitted these values, traditions, and important ideals to the entire family, passing the barrier of children into the grandchildren. Dvorah would like to be remembered as an Eshet Chayil, but more as an engaged Jew, as someone who gave of herself to others. Community, my synagogue, my community, my religion, my country. Very true what Hillary said about the death of Hank produced in her a difficult time, a challenging journey from their point on. They would have been married for 65 years. How important was to come to Friday night at home. How important was to put the week aside and spend time together. No newspapers, no telephones, no communication outside of the home, but that's inside of this close-knit family. Our sages teaches us that the death of someone on the Sabbath of their lives is not a great tragedy. However, when a person dies on the Sunday of their life, it is tragic. Just as Sunday marks the beginning of the week, it also signifies the start of one's journey to leave a mark on the world. And yet, suppose a person has lived a life rich with meaningful accomplishment and has had the opportunity to impart a sense of values and lessons learned from life to their loved ones. In that case, the rabbis say, death is the conclusion of a worthwhile and significant life. The rabbis also bring the Talmud from Masechet Ketubot, and they write and say, it is a good sign for one who passes away on Shabbat. And that was the case of Dvorah. She passed away last Shabbos. Because Shabbat is the actual day of rest. On the day of passing away Shabbat, the Holy Shabbat, is the day of rest for those who deserve that physical realm of Shabbat where the soul enters immediately into a rest and immediately into the higher levels of spirituality. One who passes away on Shabbat is assured of entering a restful state immediately upon reaching the world of the souls, which is a siman tov, a good sign. Dvorah Shulman was predeceased by her husband Hank Shulman, her parents Francis and Eli Eber. She is survived by her children Brett and Amy, Hillary and Richard, grandchildren Elisa, Stacy and Ryan, Elizabeth, Alex and Allison, and great-granddaughters Eden, Shira and Hannah. How wonderful is to see the life of someone like Dvorah that has projection to the future for the generations to come. And we hope that her family this Passover that comes in 2 weeks will gather around the table and lead the traditional Seder. We use the Haggadah, a special book. The term Haggadah means to tell. When we share the stories of past generations with our children and their children, we not only recall the past, but we also pass on to future generations the experiences, the hopes, the aspirations, the teachings, the dreams of our ancestors, giving them a sense of identity and also a sense of continuity beyond their lifetime. We will gather this Pesach to remember the great Dvorah Bat Yechiel Befredel. We will gather around the table to give answers to our children and grandchildren who Bobby was and how she kept the tradition and inspired you to continue forward. Please pass the traditions along to your great-grandchildren and keep her memory alive. Tehei nishmata tzrudo b'tzror chaim. May the soul of Dvorah Bat Yechiel Befredel be bound up in the bonds of life eternal. And let us say all together, Amen. Now I invite you to kindly rise for the memorial prayer. El male rachamim, shochen bamromim, המצא מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה במעלות קדושים וטהורים כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים את נשמת דבורה בת יחיאל בפרדל שהייתה שהלכה לעולמה בגן עדן תהא מנוחתה ענה בעל הרחמים הסתיריה בסתר כנפיך לעולמים וצרור בצרור החיים את נשמתם אדוני הוא נחלתה ותנוח בשלום על משכבה ונאמר